Good afternoon. I wasn't sure I was going to be talking to you today. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. Sometimes I feel very vulnerable in sort of agreeing to this every day at 2 o'clock, and no matter what's going on, there it is, the door's open, is it working? And so, of course, I went to turn on the broadcast at 2 o'clock today, and everything that normally is there and everything that normally is ready to go, not there. It's like the computer didn't even know me. So, if you're just getting the message that we just went live, we did just go live. It's about 7 or 8 after 2. It's Wednesday afternoon, second day of September. I'm Pastor Lou Kilgore, serving here as the pastor, as the minister of Word and Sacrament for the PCUSA. The nature of my service has changed. Most of our work and my work has been very much in person. A lot of the interpretation of the gospel that has characterized our churches has been in-person contact. And we've had to reinvent all that, and reinvent me in terms of when I feel like I'm doing a good job and when I'm doing the job that I'm supposed to do. So how are you today? My chair's turned a little bit away from me today. Got to reorient it a little bit. So I just said the word that is the catchword for me. This is a season of where orientation gets used a lot. If you are starting a new job, usually you have an orientation period that is run by HR, or if it's a small company, just a conversation with the person that hired you. If you're starting out in college, as some of our members and friends of our church are doing, a surprising number of them beginning. And my own daughter, my stepdaughter, reorienting herself to a new way to do her junior year in college. Orientation. If you're going to school for the first time, they probably don't use that word in kindergarten, but there's an orientation that takes place. You come in, you orient yourself. And so I thought it would be good for me to remind myself and to then share in the experience of why do we use that word, orientation? You know, orient means east. East, eastward facing. So the Orient was a way of describing to Western civilization. The Orient was everything that was east, probably of Rome. And everything east of Europe was the Orient. That's the Orient. And south, I guess. So orientation means figuring out which way is east. Now that comes deep. That idea, why would you need to face east, comes deep from our Presbyterian Reformed Church, Roman Catholic Church, and the Celtic Church, especially the Scots. The significance of the East. The significance of the East is your faith. This is almost the same thing I talked about yesterday in terms of it's always darkest just before the dawn. In Christian disciplines, in Christian meditation, in Christian belief, it's significant that the sun rises in the east. everything new comes from the east. Everything good comes from the east. The bright sun, the light to guide us in the day comes from the east. It also signals a new beginning, which has always been deeply associated with God. God of new beginnings, the God of who gives you a chance to do over, a God of new beginnings, a God of light, a God of hope, born in a new day. There's so much in here. There's so much in here. And I don't know how much of it you already know. If you do, then I'm just reminding you and me of it, that getting oriented meant that you weren't going to really do well unless you knew which way was east. Know which direction the good things are coming from. Know which direction the light is going to come. Know which direction to be looking. Even if it's dark, even if it's confusing and you feel alone. Know where east is. Know where your hope comes from. And look there. Look to the east. That's a hymn we sing at Christmas time. It's about the Magi who came from the east, seeking the new thing that God was going to do. Orientation. Orientation is, you know that you're getting oriented when you're getting your sense of where you are, where you want to go, what you need to do, is settling into your mind in a way that's helpful. So we get oriented to a new desk or to a new phone. Oh my goodness. The orientation period for a new phone. In some of the work that I'm doing in the preschool, we have some children that are being relocated from one foster home to another. And they're getting relocated and reoriented to a whole new family. It's a massive reorientation. Some of us lived in the same house that we were born in, and our parents maybe even had been born in that house. And so that kind of whole life environment of reorientation never really had to happen. Some of us, if you're grown up in a military family, you have to reorient every year, every 2 years, sometimes to different countries. What I'm after in this part is that discipline of life, of knowing where east is for you. Where does your hope come from? Look in that direction. Keep looking there. Maybe it's a friend that you haven't talked to in a while who always is able to, awaken a hope in you. Maybe it's just simply reminding yourself every morning. Another word that we use, which is similar to this, is we talk about our devotions. We do our devotions because we want to think about what do we want to be devoted to in this day? What do we want our life to be devoted to? And devotions are things that help us to think about and reconnect to, and then set a course of action in response to those things. Orientation, getting oriented to the fall. Getting oriented to, we've all been doing orientation to a COVID-protected life. Are you getting oriented to today? It's 2 o'clock. There's so many things about the history of both Hebrew and Celtic and Christian, Roman Christian thought that is really exciting to me. There's a lot that isn't. But it's exciting to me that at some level would be pre-science, pre-solar system knowledge, before the telescope, the look of things to human beings, the way it looked. It looked like the sun was circling the earth, but in a deeper level, there was a belief that God created each new day. There was nothing that carried over. It was, the day is done. And in the night was the chaos of pre-creation, the chaos that roamed the earth before earth was formed. It was disorganized, dark. And then God does that amazing work every day, separating the light from the darkness, causing the plants to grow, causing the birds to sing. Creation is reenacted every day. Every day. And so from the east comes the new day, which is full of new opportunities and new things. Now, it's true, the new day sometimes brings bad news. And when that happens, you buy it, you take it on, and you go, this is a bad day. But in the middle of the worst day, and in the middle of the worst days, our faith tradition, these are the nuts and bolts of our faith. It's not the creeds and those kinds of things that ultimately make up the content of our faith, our walk with God. It's these kinds of things that sometimes we don't even really talk about. We are people of the East, people of the Orient, people who live with our eye on the new day. We look for a new day when justice will be complete. We look for a new day in which the reign of God will be fulfilled and the earth will function the way God's heart wants it to function. We look for a new day. We look for the East. We turn to the East. And I've shared this before. Deep in the Presbyterian and Celtic and Reformed tradition, and even in the more ancient Roman Catholic tradition, when people were buried, cemeteries were laid out so that they were oriented towards the east, so that when the person was laid into their grave, you had this sense that they were looking, even though they're laying down, they were looking to the east. They were looking for the new sunrise, the resurrection that was coming for them. They were ready to see it the moment it broke over the horizon. Churches, locations of churches, and orientation of churches were often set so that when people sat in church, they looked to the east. They looked to the east. I can't figure out right now the orientation of the building I'm sitting in, because it changed. And also in a building like this, it's complicated because this has no stained glass. It's clear glass. One of the reasons that they put stained glass in cathedrals, especially at the front, is because they were oriented towards the east, and when the sun would come up, you couldn't see. Beautiful, beautiful. So it's the second day of September, time to get oriented, my friends. Look to the east. Look to the east of your life. Look to the people who are the eastward-looking people in your life. Look within yourself for the resources of the east, of the new morning, of the new day. No matter what the day is that you're living in, looking for the new day. Keep your eye set on it. It will come. This too shall pass. And when it passes, the Lord of the new day will make the light shine upon a new creation. So much to be said about that. So much rings true from the writings of the New Testament authors. We talk all the time about words that I think are devoid from their meaning, but that we are people of the new kingdom. We are people of the new reign of God, waiting for all the elements of God's peaceable kingdom to break out upon the earth. This, my friends, is my prayer for today. It's my devotion for you. And my devotion to you is to, as much as God gives me strength to be a source of Easterly thought to you, of Easterly hope. Not Easter, but Eastern. I thank God for the new day that came today. Beautiful, soft rain. And I thank God for each new day that has you in my life and me in your life, and for what we exchange in the in-between. God bless you, my friends. It's good to connect with you. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be right here, close to the same time anyway, if the technology is willing.